Hello, it's time for another report video on the prelim system I've been developing for dance battle events. Kyoto decided to use this system again for A&E's Dragon's Dojo, so let's talk about how it went. The system was mostly left unchanged from FurPoc 2024, so please check out my report video for the background. The only difference is A&E's prelims had 3 judges instead of 5, so arithmetic averages had to be used instead of Olympic averages. 47 dancers competed at A&E 2025, which is slightly less than last year. Check-in and setup took 26 minutes. The slight delay was due to external factors not associated with the event. Round 1 took an hour and 19 minutes, which is a lower rate compared to last year. It took 30 minutes to get results from round 1, mostly due to a slight issue with one of the judges' phones not recording 2 of the scores. Part of the reason this happened is because the threefold system does not allow tie votes. And the judge did recall that they noticed the score wasn't recording just because they happened to line up the sliders to a way that they just got a perfect net score of 0. Thankfully, the threefold system records timestamps of every judge's votes, so we manually compared the timestamps between the 3 judges and figured out which scores were the ones that were missing. The judges made an agreement that the missing scores should be counted as zeros, and we moved on to round 2. Round 2 took 21 minutes to get through 12 battles. You can watch a video of tryouts here, but unfortunately my camera cut out a couple times. Overall, A&E 2025 had a slightly better rate than FurPoc 2024, which makes sense because I was going slow during FurPoc since the voting system was new. However, A&E 2025 definitely was not going as fast as A&E 2024. Total duration of prelims was 2 hours and 34 minutes. Feedback from dancers was mixed. Again, newer dancers said that they liked the format since they were going up against dancers with a similar skill level, and a couple of seasoned dancers did not like how long it took, which is totally valid since prelims and finals were on the same day with very little time in between to get food. And I do find it really concerning that things were slower this year compared to last year, despite having less dancers and less battles. Anyway, here's the results between rounds 1 and 2. I think it's a decent bracket. Definitely great to see some new faces in the top 16. Crazy that we got to see a few rematches happen in the finals bracket as well. Speaking about that, Strobes and Fufu ended up battling each other 3 times that day. They battled in both rounds 1 and 2 in prelims and the first round of finals. This wasn't a mistake or a glitch in any way. It was just a pure mathematical coincidence that it happened, and I think it's just funny. And I will say, this doesn't break the Massey method at all. The battle matrix is designed to account for repeat matchups if it were to happen. Though I will say that I personally felt disappointed that Gran and I had to battle Suko and Vanilla in both prelims and finals at MFF, so I might look into ways to make sure that round 2 battles avoid repeat matchups from round 1 in prelims. I was also curious to see if anything would be different had the missing scores been left blank instead of being counted as zeros. And funny enough, I get the same exact bracket. So that's a good sign, I guess. So what did we learn? Well, it's comforting to know that some things are converging. The one thing that could have been considered human error didn't affect the results at all. Though I do think that missing scores should be left blank from now on. Just as a protocol, you know? I do think asking dancers to all stand on one side of the dance floor was the reason why things were slower this year compared to last. When you get a bunch of dancers together in close proximity, they're going to be distracting each other. If you watch the video of prelims, you notice that turnover rates between battles is sluggish for A&E 2025 compared to 2024. 2024 had dancers dispersed all throughout the room, and they were on the ball with going up for their battles without needing to be called up. On a different note, I can say from personal experience that being the anchor in round 1 kinda sucks. Having my battles be the first and last of the round meant that I had to do warm-ups twice, and I definitely wasn't in the battle headspace nearly as much as I wanted to be, so that's another thing that we might change. Oh, and one last thing. I'm feeling a little bit uncertain about the threefold system with arithmetic averages instead of Olympic averages. I do like the threefold system that it has 3 sliders to control, but I think having them on a continuous scale opens up the possibility for widely varying judges' votes. I think I would rather have them be on a discrete scale, like a 1 to 5 scale like the old system, or in this case, -5 to 5, you know? Anyway, my big goal for next time, shorten prelims to be within an hour. It's time to finally double down on the idea of parallel battles for round 1. It would cut time in half and I thought of a way to have parallel battles without someone being an anchor. Using a database of past battles to generate a round 1 order would cut down on check-in time, and would produce more accurate results by removing the ambiguity of the experience categories. Some quality of life upgrades regarding the spreadsheets. Dancers' names should always be next to the dancers' numbers in the spreadsheet, and I'm sure there's a way to auto-sync up the judges' scores based on the timestamps to get faster results between rounds 1 and 2. For now, we're still going to be using the threefold system as is, but once we can make our own phone app, I want to use a discrete scale instead of a continuous scale for scoring, and maybe also prevent rematches occurring in round 2. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at FWA.